Hello students, welcome back to the A classes of P.N.AMERSEY High School. Today we are going to discuss fundamental forces of nature. Fundamental forces means those forces which exist in our day-to-day life and we come across them daily. Now let us see what forces are called fundamental forces. In nature, if you see, the four fundamental forces which exist are electromagnetic force, the weak force, the strong nuclear force, and the gravitational force. Electromagnetic force acts between the charged particles. The weak force exists when an atom or a nucleus decays. Strong nuclear force exists inside the nucleus. The gravitational force exists between the two objects, or you can say any two objects which are present in the universe. Let us study these forces in detail. See, the first force is the gravitational force. The gravitational force exists between any two masses which are present in the universe. Suppose these are the two masses M, that is capital M, and small m. This force which acts between the two masses is given by F is equal to Gm1 m2 by r square. This shows that it is a universal attractive force. Why? Because any two masses in the universe attract each other with a force which is directly proportional to product of masses and inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. This force is the weakest force which exists in nature, and since these objects can be located at any distance, that means it can be even at an infinite distance, this force is called as a long range force. You can see over here that this capital M and small m, they are separated by the distance r, and these are attracted by the gravitational force. Even this apple can fall down due to the gravitational force. The second one is the weak force. This is also one of the fundamental force. The weak interaction involves what? It involves the exchange of the particles, small particles. Small particles means it can be when a neutron splits. In that case, this weak force exists. Even when the electron and the protons are there, they are attracted by a small attractive force. That is also denoted by the weak force. Even when a neutron splits into electron and proton, there also this happens. For example, if you see beta decay, neutron when it splits into proton and electron, the weak force exists. This weak force is also existing in nature, and we come across this decay daily. The third force is the electromagnetic force. This force is due to the combined effect of electricity and magnetism. When the two charges are separated by a certain distance, the force which exists between the charges is similar to the gravitational force, and it is given by the formula F is equal to kq1 q2 by r square. When there are two poles of the magnets, then the force which acts between the poles is given by the magnetic force. Now, when the charges move in a single line, then the magnetism is produced surrounding that, and the common, or you can say the combined effect of electricity and magnetism is there, and the force which exists is called as the electromagnetic force. This electromagnetic force is of infinite range because it can act between the charges which are separated by a certain distance. That force is also called as an inverse square law because the force is inversely proportional to square of the distance between them. The next force which we are going to study is known as a strong force, or it is also called as the strong nuclear force. Now this force is a very important force because the structure of an atom is due to this force. This force holds a nucleus together along with its constituent particles, that is protons and neutrons. Now if you see the structure of nucleus, this positive and the positive charges show that they will repel each other because positive repel, and these two neutrons are of no charge, that is they don't have any charge. Now the proton repulsion which is there should make the nucleus burst, but this does not happen. Why this does not happen? Because this strong nuclear force which is there, it is more compared to the electrostatic repulsion. So we can say this strong nuclear force is very important to keep the nucleus in its position. Now these protons are held inside the nucleus. Why? Because the strong nuclear force binds the nucleus and it is more than the repulsive force inside an atom. Since it acts only inside the nucleus, this is also called as the short range force. Now this is the strongest force of all the fundamental force. Why? Because this keeps the nucleus bound together and the structure of the matter is only due to this strong nuclear force. Now we can summarize like this, that strong force binds the nucleus, electromagnetic force binds atoms, weak force exists in radioactive decay, and the gravitational force binds the solar system. You can see in this figure that the strongest force is the strong nuclear force and the weak force is like this, that is it is existing in the nature. All forces in the world can be attributed to these four interactions. Now the strength of the four forces we can show over here. The strong force which binds the nucleus together is the strongest force and its strength is taken as 1, and the range up to which it can act is 10 raised to minus 15 because the size of the nucleus is smaller. So it is called as short range force and it can act between protons and neutrons, and this force is also called as a quark force. Electromagnetic force is 1/37th part of the strong nuclear force and its range is infinite. Weak nuclear force, its strength is 10 raised to minus 6 and its range is 10 raised to minus 18. The gravitational force has the strength 6 into 10 raised to minus 30. Its range is infinite and it can act up to any distance. So we have studied about all the four fundamental forces in nature. In the next session, we are going to study about the link between technology and physics, different technologies and physics. Thank you.